później to trzeba wrzucić na
Patrzcie,
Ikeę.
jakie fajne w ogóle Radek ma.
To wytnie.
Shrek,
O, fajne.
co nie? Musi się uczesać.
To już jest na streamie.
Nie.
Dobra. No nie, jak ktoś jeszcze odpali kamerkę, nic się. Dawaj Leszek, tam pokaż teczki z pracy.
Chciałem mieć tutaj kamerkę.
O, Bartek się odpalił.
Wróciłam.
Co tam,
Macie,
Biedronki
czyli-
tam kradniesz, kurde? Liczysz,
Tak,
że wszyscy
ostatnia
będą oglądać
Biedronka.
streama, a ty nie wiem. A Marenę ukradniesz?
Czekaj, bo musiałem przelać kasę.
O, tak.
Tak jest super.
Dobra. I to leci, co nie?
No tak.
Zabrakło mi pieniędzy na... nie mogłem zapłacić.
Na bułki ci nie starczyło.
Pan sobie wypakować.
Włączyłeś
Tak, na
nagrywanie?
bułki mi nie
Tak,
starczyło.
leci.
Dobra.
To się jeszcze może być.
Jeszcze
Zobaczę.
napiszę, że nie raz.
Coś się dzieje. O. Świetne. Skąd ty to miałeś w ogóle? Jak... Sam to zrobiłeś, Leszek, ale ty jesteś dobry.
Tak.
Streamowiec. Nice. Dobra. Mógłby sobie siedzieć w czołówce. Mogę lamineta wywali i tyle będzie. A czemu nie ma...
Ja wam pokażę, jaki świat jest piękny. A nie tylko w domu siedzicie. Tylko kurde, nie mam na mikrofon na tym telefonie, więc...
Ale...
Biedronka.
Która to jest Biedronka?
Taka ładna żółta, ej! To jest ładna taka żółta w cyberpunku.
Ty już jesteś, ty jesteś tego, na specjalne
Tak,
zaproszenie
ja-
dostałeś. Musisz sobie stanąć na tle
Dokładnie.
i mówisz, że nadajesz z tego, z Night City. I że jesteś...
Za szybko wyszedł z tej
Night
Biedronki.
City Wire jesteś.
Zapłacił.
Nie zapłacił, ile minęło? Minuta? Nie zapłacił jak... nie wiem.
Ale która to
Na
Biedronka?
tyle czasu.
Ale ja już zapłaciłem z wami. Płaciłem telefonem.
Ja w tyle czasu nawet bym
Mógłbyś się tak przyłożyć
Pozwolenie wiedziałem.
kamerkę do ceny, żebyśmy wiedzieli ile płacisz.
Dokładnie, stakowałem to. To takie specjalne, dlatego włączyłem kamerkę. Ona się podłączyła do twojego telefonu, czy czegoś tam, nie wiem. I tak zdalnie przeszło.
Taka jeszcze
donated na
podróba
bank.
Ela zdepnął.
Ale to na pewno nie z mojego konta, bo ja nie mam na tyle pieniędzy.
Jak wyglądam?
Świetnie.
Zebrałem te grosze z okrągleń. Od was wszystkich.
Nie da się, jak się nie
W
ma
tym nie
pieniędzy.
widać dokładnie. W tym jak patrzysz przez to...
No właśnie, ja nie miałem, ja jestem problem.
Bo widzisz przez to.
Już widzisz jak żółty, w sensie... Biedronka to jest cyberpunkowa korporacja. Mówię, główną inspiracją do cyberpunka jest Biedronka.
Dlatego te kolory, wszystko jasne.
Zobaczcie, to pierwsze co będzie
na
na
żółto,
tym Night City
widzicie?
Wire to będzie Biedronka niskie ceny.
Sponsor!
Będzie reklama Biedronki na starcie,
Jak
zobaczycie.
można w jakiś sposób nosić.
Tak. Siema.
Halo, halo.
Dzień
Dawaj, ja dam kamerkę.
Cześć, Adaś.
Hej, Adam.
Elo. Mała Adam odpalę kamerkę. Poka frytę.
Dawaj.
Chyba, że już ją zjadłeś i sprzedałeś na organy.
Problem znowu telefon.
Patrz, to też żółte.
Wszędzie, ty
Bartuś na
jakąś
chwilę się
kurde
włączył.
ścieżkę sobie znalazłeś, że wszystko jest żółte. Co za skamer.
Bartuś na chwilę włączył kamerę i już mi oczy wypaliły, więc to sorry.
Nie miałem fryzjera tu przez pandemię, a patrz, żółty autobus.
Żółta,
Nie wiem.
chyba jesteś jakimś cyberpunkiem wielkim.
No.
Czemu Bartuś masz kitkę?
Jaką kitkę,
Włosy
nie
też
wiem.
ma żółte, pana to w ogóle. Co on robi?
Dokładnie. Nie
Myślałeś kiedyś,
stać
że
na
mógłbyś do
fryzjera.
fryzjera?
Nie stać mnie. Ej, ale no
Jak do
pandemia
fryzjera?
i te sprawy.
W Jarkali za mało płacą, mówisz?
Dokładnie. Nie chcesz pracy, szukamy kogoś.
Nie, wiesz co, u mnie...
Nie, on musi mieć długie włosy, bo ma wtedy izolację, jakby jak zakłada VR-a.
Przed 5G.
Tak.
Dokładnie, ale ty nie wiesz, na ciebie już to za bardzo wpłynęło. Ale mogę ci oddać trochę włosów, jak chcesz. Przylepić sobie. Lody nie mają powodzenia, słyszałem.
Ale fajnie licznik u mnie na Twitchu leci do góry ta cyfra, tak.
Co?
Skacze. No w sensie...
Aha, ten
wiesz,
ile osób
oglądają.
kupiło, no, to widziałem tak, zapieprza. Muszę mieć skrypcik na to, bo wiem, że to było zbagowane, jak kiedyś robiłem coś w tym stylu.
Nie, ogólnie update po prostu był Twitcha i teraz na każdym tak jest.
Tak, ale w sensie ja pamiętam, jak w jakimś konstrakcie pisałem coś takiego, że się samo update'owało. Jak zapieprzało za szybko, to lagowało przez drawcole.
Takie drąkolek.
W sensie, bo w konstrakcie jak zmieniałeś...
A, okej,
tekst,
dobra, w konstrakcie mówisz.
No.
Myślałem, że o filmie i takie, co? Ja wczoraj miałem w ogóle taki programistyczny szał. Chodziłem 24 godziny.
Bez przerwy?
Zostałem potem na
To bardzo
15.
dużo,
Tak.
nie?
Znaczy no tam z jakimiś przerwami na krótkimi na jedzenie.
Napisałeś 24 linijki, czy mniej?
Nie, właśnie wyrobiłem taski, znaczy miałem jakiś tydzień zaległości i odrobiłem ten tydzień zaległości.
Tym jeszcze.
Wiem, ale zaraz mi detaliarze stąd, czekaj.
Natomiast potem zbudowałem projekt i się wywalał i nie wiem, czy to moja wina.
To twoja wina zdecydowanie.
Co, przy 10 robimy audyta, nie?
Ej, ja nie mam czasu.
Masz
Adam, gdzie
18
kamerka?
sekund.
Poka mordę, Adam.
Który?
Jeden i No nie.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I zalagowało.
A streamuje ktoś tutaj ekran?
Nie.
Było. Jakieś
No i to samo. Nudy. Jakaś
Hello and welcome to
Emma,
this,
podrzucisz
the
linka?
first episode of NightCity
Na spotkanie
Wire,
podrzucisz
brand
linka?
new series from us at CD Projekt
No,
Red,
ciężko.
talking about all things
Nie wiem, tej czat włączyć.
1977. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at
Secret
some
collaboration
Braindance
z Biedronką.
and welcome back
Miśki,
our
nie
developers
udostępniajcie
just to have a chat
dźwięku,
on
radek i tak dalej, bo
everything to
podwójnie
see.
echo leci w tej
But
chwili.
there
mamy
is
głośniki.
one more thing.
Głośnik
Dlatego.
też
Media all over the
to czemu
world
siedzicie
have
na
been getting
głośnikach?
hands-on
No
with
bo-
Cyberpunk
Inaczej
2077,
mam
and when
słyszeć.
this episode finishes,
kto
we'll be
Nie
able
stać ich.
to go check out exactly
Może?
what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer, Pavel
Adam
Sasto,
should
will
go.
be joining us, because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a
Pytanie, czy
look.
będzie trailer, czy gameplay?
Najpierw trailer.
No ja to...
No ma być ogólnie gameplay, a tutaj no to nie trailer.
Love this town. City of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on. City like any other, just bigger. Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here. The major leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them. But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything. Unless you catch a bullet. Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
Ale świetna
You
koszulka.
can make heaps more eddies than motivational speakers.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab.
Guessing it belongs to a core.
Ogólnie wydaje mi się, że Cyberpunk to tutaj jest, to tutaj są koszulki do z dekoltem do pewno.
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife. Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this
Ja
on the
innych
hush.
dekoltów nie uznaję.
Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough. Eat lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City. Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie? Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Nie był zły.
Cały czas... Czy tam oni powiedzieli Dix, what the
Damn
fuck?
risky, V.
And you, who are
Thanks.
you?
O, poprawili go! Już nie wygląda jak gówno.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just
Nie no, będzie więcej.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer showed you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands.
Widzę w tym strasznie rage'a
You
dwójkę.
are meeting Jackie. Jackie is your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie
No i...
introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in a social ladder of cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just like to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Liz.
Jakieś akcje są
Now,
w
she
ogóle
was
po prawej na
owner
dole?
of a
Widzieliście?
brothel and former
Już ją
sex
lubię.
worker, and she was protecting
Patrz,
working
po prawej na
guys
dole
who
masz
work
jakieś
from harassment
minigierkę z
and
akcjami chyba.
And the gang is
Gdzieś
really
chcę kupować
continuing
akcje
that
jakichś
mission.
firm
And
z
as a
Night
player,
City.
you're going to interact with that gang to meet multiple different NPCs and craft your own relationship with them and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City, and as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in a different cabins, and they are traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an arena.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom
Paweł
gang.
Sasko
This
wygląda
looked
jakby
like
pozwolili
something
mu
else.
spać
So
pierwszy
tell
raz od
people
pół
at home,
roku.
who is this giant
No,
metal?
tylko do wywiadu mu pozwolili
Okay,
spać.
so that big dude that was
To było w ramach pracy.
he has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He is who was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And times have changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space.
Też nie wiem, kto tam Leszek, znasz tam jakoś lepiej lore?
Tak będę wyglądał za
In
30
the
lat.
trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc called Victor
Łysy już
Vector.
jesteś,
If people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how you'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Reaper Dogs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal. They can change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Reaper Dogs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
To są te same co Blade
Reveal our
Runner.
first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat. There is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
Biedronka.
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the cyberpunk world we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch
Adam już się tam cieszy, chińskie bajki,
but for
będzie miał
some
do
more
czego
information,
czepać.
Seria
let's go to
animowana.
the team in Tokyo.
Ma wprowadzać do Cyberpunka.
Oglądanie.
Jak będzie jak tego. Jak Ghost in the Shell to będzie dobrze.
Anime.
To mówię jak będzie na poziomie.
What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer to
Ale
put
pa,
in
teraz
new
w
words
porównaniu do
that
Wiedźmina
are
dużo wcześniej
universe.
zaczęli tą
We
kooperację
are a
z
game company.
Netflixem, co nie? Już idą do
We
przodu.
are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream.
W sensie
for
nie
us
chcą sprzedać
to
gry
make
tylko graczom.
anime. When we began
Bo to
this
będzie taki
project,
cyberpunk tylko z
we
cyckami.
were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be
Great gateway.
great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole. Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の
No bo to jest studio, które odpowiada za
Tak,
grę.
tak. A coś znasz Adam z tego? Killa robili czy co? Tam w tle mają.
初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るそうです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の一ファンが過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今井氏、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の夫人で、トリガー10
Odpowiadałem
周年
również za anime Sex and Violence with Max.
お楽しみに。
Coś dla ciebie.
To Kill takie najważniejsze.
Little Witch Academia.
No masz tego, Atlas tego chyba.
Czyli seks
Ale dobra, 2022, to sobie jeszcze poczekaj, 2 lata.
Now the time to show you some
Prequel
gameplay of
Cyberpunka.
Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording
A,
of
jeszcze
some
Darling in the Franxx, jeszcze za to
It
będzie
allows you
odpowiedzialny.
to relive the
To jest w
senses
ogóle
of sight,
kurwa.
smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device.
Ale
After
się
the
uruchomił
gameplay, I will be
cosplayer.
welcoming back Pavel Sasko. I will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your
Na ile
questions
obstawiacie, że oni to
and
nagrali
give you
wcześniej,
some
tylko puszczają?
explanation on
No na
how
pewno.
you'll be
To
interacting
jest
with
cały
Braindance
CGI.
when you play Cyberpunk 2077.
To jest na silniku Cyberpunka cała prezentacja.
W sumie możliwe, bo to jakby niweluje ci ewentualne problemy w trakcie tego.
Bezpieczniejsze, nie?
W sumie nie wiadomo, nie ma tu interakcji, więc różnica jest po prostu prezentacja.
Ej, widzieliście z fajki?
Nie, ale to gameplay z Cyberpunka.
Ale właśnie patrzcie na podłogę.
To jest ten Braindance.
O, widziałem.
Jest stopa.
Widziałem.
Tam się jakaś kałuża zbagowała.
Musimy sobie zwiększyć jakość streama.
Everybody, on the ground. I want to see you kissing the foreign.
Biedronka.
Money, now, or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God. Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off.
Bije.
To Bartek się obudził w pracy, kurde.
Dokładnie, cześć. 24 godziny maratony.
Ale jest ładne.
You're alive and well.
That was too much. I feel the guy's pain, his stress, his hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Już widzę, jak mi się procek smaży na tych jej włosach.
No, właściwie.
Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
Fajne ma te włosy.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. All seemed yours. Full cam control of the analysis. Move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with.
Takie rozpikselizowanie.
So, analysis mode, you control playback.
Jakby
And even pause when you feel
jak Unity prezentuje swoje dema, to właśnie za pomocą VFX efekt robią coś takiego. Ale to pewnie jest jakiś postprocess.
Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio. Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind, roll it back to the top.
Ale fajne glicze.
Now try fast forward.
No, to jest fajne.
Będą minigierki takie detektywistyczne.
No.
Żeby znaleźć jakieś itemy w odpowiednim czasie można, albo coś zaobserwować. Coś w tym stylu bym powiedział.
Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place.
Coś tu jeszcze...
In analysis mode, you get to view
Te layery mogą być ciekawe. Teraz masz visuali czy jakieś inne rzeczy będziesz mógł obserwować. Niewidzialnego ninja. Coś takiego.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio. And remember,
Okay, right here.
Cool.
Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor.
No ale w sensie w grze, chociaż nie grałem The Story of Her. Tam było też takie, że słuchałeś tych wideo. Her Story to by
Wiedźmiński zmysł, patrz.
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable.
To wygląda
Seriously,
strasznie nudno.
like it was happening right next to me.
It's how BD recording and
No to jest stawiam tutorial do tego, nie?
No.
Potem będziesz robił to samo, będziesz sam musiał szukać wskazówek.
No i możesz później jakieś też znajdźki znaleźć, co nie? Jak pójdziesz.
Miałeś
Jeszcze nie obok, a tam się
chodzenie,
będą
szukanie
ruszać.
śladów, to już miał to.
Czy to było prawy przycisk, miałem wszystko podświetlone, więc...
No tam było właśnie, że switch layer był któryś. O właśnie, teraz mówię o tych layerach.
Usłyszałem, że było też wyciszonego.
Meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
O właśnie.
Wiesz, może to są takie rzeczy gameplayowe trochę opcjonalne.
Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Jest quick hack na customerze, więc ciekawe co to będzie.
Super jest to.
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam.
O, i można przeskoczyć.
You'll see it a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Jak w CIA.
O kur...
Jest chłop. Nie jego ziomek?
His own Jumba shot him. Probably planned to all along.
Tak.
Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flat hunting. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Play a game.
Yeah, impressive, right? Too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore. So how this actually fits into the universe, and then there's the gameplay side. So how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording their experiences and then playing them back for someone else, so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media including movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flat brain. That's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the Braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this Braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the Braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that Braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So, one of the things that I'm most excited about is the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now, you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience.
Wszystkiego so much, tylko wypłaty nie są so much.
And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love you to show everybody this notebook.
You asked for it. So, this is my notebook. It says salsa for designer. The reason is because I dance salsa and I'm a quest designer. So you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note and it says.
Ja myślałem, że on szlacki rysował, kurwa, tam nie było żadnych liter.
Starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on
zero-jedynkowym kodem.
Ale patrz jak on pisze w ogóle.
Właśnie nie wiem.
Ale to nawet nie są litery, chyba że to zamazał.
Ja kurwa mam nadzieję, że tego
Zera wiesz, wezmą AI-kę, powiększą jakość i będziesz miał całe story.
Jest znakowane.
Dlatego może
Zaraz na potrzeby Cyberpunka wymyślili nowy język.
Nie, to jest coś takiego, że to jest zakodowane, no to może być nowy język. Na końcu Cyberpunka poznasz kod i będziesz mógł wrócić do tego filmiku i to przeprowadzić.
W sensie to jest easter egg, że jak teraz już to odkodujesz.
I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Stadia?
No idą na Stadia.
Gdzie są krzesła? Free goodies, ja już mam te free goodies. Koniec.
Koniec imprezy.
Czyli to już? To już koniec?
Gdzie są krzesła?
Nie bawisz się.
25 minut to 25 minut.